If you don't know who I am, I'm a crypto enthusiast. I do this for a hobby. None of this is financial advice. Entertainment value only. So I look at the Bitcoin every week, and I look at a couple of other altcoins. Sometimes I take requests. Usually I don't, because it takes a lot of time. So I was looking at Bitcoin last week. And if you don't know, you can have a look on my YouTube channel. Let's go and have a look now. And basically the last couple of weeks, few weeks, I've been looking at this range that we've been forming. And then last week, it had dropped. And then the week before, I was looking for another drop, wasn't I? So let's go. This is kind of the tipping point. When you go to my videos, you can have a look at what I was contemplating. And then I was looking for much lower, and then I was kind of having a look at this Wyckoff accumulation schematic. So what's interesting is that it's dropped, and then it's dropped. So it's kind of done what I was imagining. It really had to hold these highs to continue. And because it didn't, what you'll notice is when you look at the price action, you'll notice as soon as it lost the high, closed lower, bam, sell, sell. Lost this trend line, which I had drawn, couldn't get back above, sell, sell, like more selling, sell, sell. And what I've been also doing is in my Discord, if you have a look, if it loads, that I've been posting some of the bearish CVD that's been forming, looking at the order flow and telling people, hey mate, this is bearish, bearish. And so again, you're welcome to join my Discord. It's free. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes I post stuff which is relevant. And so when I posted this, Bitcoin was trading at around $88,000. Posted this one, it was at $89,000. See that? And look at the price now. It went all the way down to 80, just shy under $81,000. So what's happening? Let's have a look at the charts. What I'm going to do is just kind of hide these for a second. I'm going to have a look at the volume. That's what I do every time I check the volume. I compare it to the previous volume. Let me have a look at the volume. Where are you, volume? There it is. Just update the volume levels. You can see that the value area low has dropped a little bit. Point of control is still where it is. Value area high has fallen a little bit too. So the value area is slightly shifted lower. And we're kind of underneath this value area now, aren't we? Look at that. So clearly what needs to happen is we need to reclaim the value area. It's really important. If you can't reclaim the value area, then the whole value area becomes resistance. So that's kind of where we're at now. And let me just update this local volume range. See if there's any changes there. Yep, kind of lost that as well. That kind of the low of that volume range lies at the same level as the value area low of this higher range. Get rid of that. I'll have a look at the levels. Weekly level. This one is gone. Can ignore that one now. Kind of we lost all those levels. We're kind of underneath this wash monthly level now. It'd be interesting to see where the monthly close is. Let's have a look at the daily levels. This one is now there. Get rid of this one. And that one. Kind of smash through that one. So we've kind of lost all our levels now. We have one level there to reclaim on the daily level for a sign of strength. Okay, and then we have these lower levels. Let's have a look at those. These two here. I can update the single prints in a second. Let's have a look at the NPOCs. Where are they? We've just hit these two NPOCs now. Cleared these. Hit these two now, so they're cleared. Wash them, so it's pretty bearish, right, this move. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at the order flow. I can see there's some bearish divergences forming still. CVD's going up, price isn't putting higher highs, CVD's putting higher highs. So we're still getting bearish order flow here. That means you should not long, not when there's bearish order flow. You should be patient. Let's have a look at see if there's any new NPOCs. Yeah, there's a few here. This is the daily chart. Mark them. I'm going to mark them. Eight 160 89280 90800. These higher ones 95100 96180. Let's have a look at the weekly ones. Got a couple there. 88. So let me just 88702 90820. I don't think we need to check the monthly. And if the monthly closes the way it is, which it probably will, we'll probably have two there. So let's just mark those just to make sure. 88730. Nine 1343. Okay. Can mark those now. So let me pull that back in. Let's go to the dailies. 981. Eight nine two 80 90800 95100 961. I think I've got that one. Yep. The weekly we've got 88702. I know 820. The monthly we have 88730. Nine one four 91343. Right, so there's our naked points of control. We've got the only other thing I want to have a look at is the single prints. So look at that. Just refresh this page. Quite a lot of single prints on the way up. Eight 5 4 6 3 2 8 7 5 3. Yep. Let me go back. Yep. There. 91318 to 9241. That's it. It's cleared. Nine 1 3 1 8 to 92141. There's some higher up, but I'm not going to go back there. We'll remove these for now. Actually, maybe they're still there. Yeah, they're still there because we didn't get back into them. And then slightly lower down, 85463 to 875. Right. So we have everything now. We have our single prints, we've got the volume, we've got our levels, we've got the epochs. Perfect. So now we've got all of that data up to date. Let's have a look. Let's put it all back in. Yeah. This is quite a lot of liquidity above us. We didn't already know that. You can see all these lines, liquidity levels. We're coming into kind of a bit of an empty space right now. And then we have some daily levels, weekly, naked daily, epoch, naked weekly epoch. It's kind of not really at the same area. Let me have a look at these higher time frame fibs. We've got some big fibs. So not really crazy confluence apart from all the way down here. And I think what I was saying last week, I'm just going to bring it up again. I was talking about this Wyckoff accumulation. Now, I've been looking at X and I've been seeing some interesting stories. So that you're going to get two stories on X. You're going to get the good, the bad, sometimes the ugly, but usually it's either good or bad, depending on your bias. And I'm going to go into my bookmarks because I bookmark them. So you got this is the good if you're bullish. Someone thinks it's going to take out this low and we're going to go for all-time highs. Someone thinks we're going to go much lower, but still accumulate and go up. So we've got some. This one is more aggressively bullish. This one is bullish, but it means it's going much lower. And this is quite interesting. This guy is bearish. He thinks that as we cross this big red line, which is the midpoint on the monthly dollar index, BTC to dollar index, then the price goes all the way down to the lower part of the Bollinger Band, or as close as possible before it kind of returns. So this is the bad, the good, the bad. Is there an ugly? And this is the ugly. So you've got some guy talking about a manipulated Wyckoff. I'm not sure about this, to be honest with you. It looks like it could be. If this was, the thing is, in Wyckoff you have an ST in phase B and that takes out the low. So it's not really Wyckoff, is it? Because it hasn't done that. Who knows? Like, no one really knows. And we're going down for a spring, and this is the final spring, and basically what he's suggesting is that we've already done the ST in phase B, which is here. He's seen that was the ST in phase B. Where are those images again? Bring them right across. Where are they? I have to make them smaller, don't I? So I've been talking about the Wyckoff for a few weeks now, maybe longer. And he's saying that was the ST in phase B. I mean, the Wyckoff is Wyckoff, and both the schematics have an ST in phase B taking out the low. And therefore, it makes you wonder if there is some kind of manipulated Wyckoff going on, if if that was the low and we've gone up to there, but then that doesn't take the high. So I'm not convinced. When I look at his chart, this point doesn't take the top of that point. So I don't know. I think he's kind of making it up. Who knows? I'm not convinced. I think it's more likely or more possible, and I could be wrong. Everyone can be wrong. It's more likely or more possible that we're going down for an ST in phase B now. And we've done the PS. So let me just kind of draw it out. I don't know. I mean, no one really knows, right? I'm going to mark it out. PS. ST. It kind of makes more sense because if you look at the schematics, the second high comes to touch the PS there, doesn't it? And it did do that, didn't it? So effectively, you've got the PS, SC, AR, ST, goes and takes out the AR, comes to touch the PS, and now we're going for the ST in phase B, which would be here. So if you're in both of these schematics, the ST in phase B is a liquidity grab of the SC. We're not there yet. We're almost there, but we're not there yet. Yeah. And we don't know how low it's going to go. If this is going to play out. Because it could go low and then come right back up. We don't know how low it's going to go. And then we have a 5-wave rally. And then we have two possible schematics. We've got one after the 5-wave rally. We have an reaccumulation, which puts in another low for a spring, or we have a reaccumulation which puts in a higher low. Yeah. And effectively, one loses the support lines and one doesn't. And there's quite a prolonged down period after we put in a high there. Now, based on the timings, when I'm looking at the schematics, it takes as much time to hit the high as it did to put in this range. Didn't it? So we've kind of 141 bars. That will take us to April. That will take us basically to the end of March, beginning of April. Effectively, what you're looking at is a drop, 5-wave move without taking the high out. And effectively, you're coming up to the top of the AR, landing us at the end of March, beginning of April, roughly. So somehow we do this. Go on, like that. Maybe for another 141 bars, whatever. To the end of May, beginning of June. before we actually go up. So the question is, do we put an ST in phase B now? That's the question. And I think the only way we'll know is if we have a real nice liquidity grab from this pivot low, or if we lose the low. So based on the Wyckoff idea, which I've been talking about for weeks now, assuming this guy is not correct, like, I mean, I don't really know about this. He believes it. He's very bullish, so he thinks we're going to go to the moon. I'm inclined to think that if it's a Wyckoff, it should follow correctly. And if it doesn't, then it's something else. And if it's something else, then we'll just treat it as something else. And so the key factor here is a nice liquidity grab of that pivot low. And we're not there yet. Almost, but not there. And let me just have a look at my previous analyses. It's much lower. That was the short. FPS, yeah, I've already had that. See that? Bam, bam, bam. It's previous all-time high. Bull market channels. All right, so this is quite an interesting one, these bull market channels. Let's have a look at them. Let's get rid of these timings. Oh, I've got some timings here. Let me hide it. We're kind of coming into this on the log scale, this trend line, but then slightly further down, much further down, you'll be taking this low out to back test the previous all-time high. I've got that marked out as well somewhere. And I think this is the question, because if we do not put an ST in phase B now, which is basically a swing failure of this level, and you have to treat it like a swing failure, and traders will take the swing failure and then take their profit. A key to knowing if this is going to be ST in phase B is a sign of strength followed by a swing failure. So a sign of strength would be a reclaim of a level. And so if we bring our levels back, we've got this monthly level that we're at now. And effectively what you want to see is to take out that level, however low it goes, and then to reclaim. We need a reclaim. So we need to flip that level back into support. Once you get that, then it's probably an ST in phase B and we're going up. Okay. Until you get a sign of strength, it could always swing failure and keep on going. Yeah. You just don't know. Okay. So you want to see a sign of strength following a swing failure. Then we're going to be thinking, okay, this could be an ST in phase B. That's probably the closest level that needs to be reclaimed, actually, that washed monthly level. And once we see that, you'll have a nice long trade. And then obviously, just traders will take the swing failure. it will look really bearish when you have a swing failure, but this is the pivot. It will feel really bearish, but then it will go up. So that's kind of where we're at. So it's basically back at the same idea of a swing failure. With a really tight profit take. And then potentially a swing long. If that pivot holds. And if it is an ST in phase B, you're going all the way up to there effectively, up to there. Like a 1 to 6, what is that? A 1 to 22 trade. Just on a swing failure. If that is the ST in phase B, depending on your stop loss, depending on how wide that is. And a confirmation will be a reclaim. And that will be a very nice position to be in. If you don't get a reclaim, you just get a rejection. Then it will just be a long that failed, took profit, and then it just went lower. And if it goes for lower, then you're basically looking for lower prices. And it'll be hard to long until the price finds support. And you're basically looking for kind of somewhere here, somewhere around 76, 77k. That's the base kind of area of Confluence, and it's quite a wide area. Whatever. And that would be a liquidity grab. No, it wouldn't be. It would still be a high low of this pivot low. So you're not looking for a liquidity grab of these lows. You're looking for a higher low. Again, you're looking for a sign of strength for confirmation, and that would be a reclaim. Reclaim after a drop. If you lose that first swing failure, then you're looking for a reclaim. In this context, you're looking for a reclaim of that weekly level. And then that's your reclaim. You can wait for the reclaim, or that would be what you're looking for, a reclaim of a level, a lost level. All right, so these are kind of two long ideas in the near future, potentially. So I'll mark those up. And if we do get a nice ST in phase B, then you're looking for a nice strong 5-wave move, taking us all the way up to there. And then that will be shorting area. It'll be a place to short, effectively. But it will take a bit of time, and we'll probably be looking at that next week if that happens. All right. So that's kind of my Bitcoin analysis for this week, and let's see what happens at that swing failure. Let's see what happens there. There's a lot of things going on geopolitically, and I think that's what's kind of shaking the markets as well. People haven't been following, then it's basically America and moving their military assets around, rumors of war, stuff like that. And we have to see what happens, yeah, because usually when that happens, it's a good time to buy, yeah. When Suddenly there's a war, and that's in that situation. It's possible that this does go much further, and we do get a much bigger dip, and that will probably be the dip. And so when I look at these higher time frame channels, if we're not looking at an ST in phase B, if we are looking to take out this low, then you could be coming to backtest the previous all-time high, and that will be the dip. It's always a good place to buy the previous all-time high on the backtest, so it's always good to have that level on your chart. Always good. Let me just bring it back up again. These are always good levels, yeah. Previous all-time backtest, another backtest of the previous all-time highs. There's two. There's one from the previous bull market and the previous all-time high from this recent bull market. That maybe we just go back and test that at 74k. But usually when you do get a drop, some aggressive selling, it could always go through it. And then when I'm looking at this higher time frame midpoint on this white channel, you see there's a bit of confluence where you've got this midpoint as well. So if there's no ST in phase B and we're pushing down, then actually, and we do put in a lower low, then we're looking actually potentially for a swing failure of that low, just for another nice back test of the previous all-time low. So that would be even lower, wouldn't it? Rather than putting in a higher low, putting in a lower low, but it's coming to really nice areas of confluence for picking up Bitcoin around 72, 73k. All right, that is kind of where we're at now. When I look at dominance chart, kind of going sideways, the altcoins aren't bleeding, they're not dropping, and so that's good news. That kind of gives me confidence that we are finding the lows on Bitcoin. We are finding the lows. Usually when we're not finding the lows, you're going to get big bleeds back into the altcoins and dominance goes up. But because we're going to go in sideways, it's still looking quite bearish, then I have my intuition, my gut, whatever, tells me actually this is a good sign that we are actually forming lows across the board. All right, so that's my Bitcoin update. Thanks for watching. I'm going to cut it into a separate video. If you like it, please share, like it, at least like on YouTube. That would be much appreciated.